Welcome. Let's start in a nice, comfortable seated position. So sit up tall. Imagine that you're pushing your entire spine as well as the back of the head into a wall. And then once you feel that you've got length and you've got the knees or the lower body relaxed down towards the floor, close your eyes. The minute you close your eyes, you might find that your tension shifts. Feeling your inhales and exhales. Just noticing how deep or how shallow your breathing pattern is. Breathing obviously happens automatically, but take charge and start to lengthen the inhales and exhales. Turn this deeper breathing pattern into your Ujjayi pranayama. Let's continue with this consistent breathing pattern. We're only going to allow the breath to be natural right at the end of the class. Opening your eyes. We'll get started in a standing position at the front end of the mat. So position feet together. You can get the big toes to touch. Maybe a slight gap between the inner heels, but you can also get the inner heels to make contact. Slight little modification if you wish. Mountain pose on inhale, take arms up. Link breath and movement. Exhale, swan dive, head to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Then planting your hands on exhale, take it back into plank and lower down through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, don't rush into the up dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. I'm going to move through a few sun salutation A's, followed by a few sun salutation B's. Bend in the knees, look up. Inhale, feet in between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reverse swan dive, take arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, deep forward bend, head to shins. In breath halfway. Planting your hands on exhale, step or jump back and lower down, chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, you can go straight to down dog or chaturanga into plank, and then downward facing dog. Just adding an additional push-up really, if you want to go with that option. Bend into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, Urdhva arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward bend. In breath, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Planting hands, exhale, take it back to Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, upward facing dog or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale to down dog or Chaturanga plank. Adho Mukha Svanasana. bend into knees, look up. Inhale, feet between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. We do a fourth one, final one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, head to shins. In breath, halfway lift. Planting hands, exhale, take it back. And lower down. Inhale, up dog. You can exhale, down dog or chaturanga, straight into a downward facing dog. Pushing back from that chaturanga into a down dog. Just giving the body some time to warm up before we work deep into the shoulders and the core, really bending into knees, look up. In breath, feet in between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms go up. Exhale, mountain pose. Sun salutation B, inhale, Utkatasana, bending into the knees, taking arms up. Exhale, forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Planting hands, exhale, take it back. And lower down, chaturanga. In breath, up dog. Exhale, down dog or chaturanga to down dog. Inhale, step. Right foot between hands, pivot back foot. Arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back. Chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot in between hands. Angle back foot, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhalation, down dog. Not giving too many instructions, giving you some time to really tap into the breath and the body. Bend into knees, look up. Inhale, feet between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend knees, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, bend knees, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, slightly deeper forward bend. In breath, halfway lift. Planting hands, exhale, take it back and lower down. In breath, up dog. Exhale, down dog or chaturanga. 2, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot between hands, pivot back foot, arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back. Chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot between hands, angle back foot, arms up, warrior 1. Exhalation, hands down, stepping back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Just got one more cycle to go. And bending into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend knees, take arms up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant hands, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, or Chaturanga to down dog. Inhale, right foot between hands, angle back foot, Virabhadasana 1. Exhale, hands come down, step it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot between hands, pivot back foot, arms up. Exhalation, hands come down, step back, follow through with your vinyasa. Into a down dog. Bending into knees, look up. Inhale, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend knees, taking arms up. And exhale, mountain pose. Done with the sun salutations. Vinyasa will still feature, but not our traditional Surya Namaskar A and B. On in-breath, bend your knees, get your fingers to make contact with the floor. Now push your hips slightly back, arch in your back, you'll simply feel your chest pushing into the upper legs. Next inhalation, take your arms out in front, hands shoulder distance. Exhale, bring the hands down, keep the knees bent as you jump back or step back. Lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, straight into down dog. Little bit of upper body work before we combine more intense core work with the upper body work. So lower hips into plank. If you need to place knees to mat to do a push-up, then go with that option. Otherwise, exhale down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Link breath and movement. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Don't rush. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. In breath, plank. Exhale, down dog. Keep gripping mat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, down dog. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale to down dog. Walk your hands all the way to the back of the mat. And as you get into a forward bend, get softness in your knees. Just make sure your feet are hip distance. Now, the idea is going to be to keep your chest close to your legs, to stretch out with the arms. As you get the hands firmly on the floor, you lift onto the toes, and then you float your feet slightly forwards. So if you need to get another visual, I'm reaching, arching in the back, placing hands down. There's quite a distance between hands and feet. Lifting onto toes, all the weight onto the hands, placing the feet down. Reaching, lifting, and placing feet down. So let's go all the way from the back of the mat to the front, and then we'll work our way to the back of the mat. We're not squeezing legs together. We're not making use of the inner leg muscles all too much. We're simply relying on core and arms. So keep going, stretching forwards, placing feet down, all the way to the front. Keep pushing out of your shoulders. Once you get to the front of the mat, we're going to push hands, we're going to reverse the action into the mat, lift, take your feet back, push, and back, push, and back, pushing up, and feet to the back of the mat. Part your feet, toes slightly out to the sides as you squat down into Malasana, but get your triceps on the insides of the legs, triceps pushing into the shins, part the hands, get onto the balls of the feet and push your knees up towards ceiling as you shift a bit of weight on the hands. Slowly coming back up, square off in the feet, get hands on the mat, straighten your legs. Now we're in a very, very short, modified type of forward bend or down dog-like shape. In this position, bend, get your chest closer to the mat, and push away from the mat. You can even place palms down, bending into the arms, and push away from the mat. So hands making contact, pushing, and launching your body back up. 2 more, down and up. The more you bend into the arms, the more intense it's going to be. Bending and launching and back. Pistol grip the big toes. Nice deep in-breath. Exhale, forward fold. In-breath. Halfway lift. And exhale, placing hands onto the mat and start to walk your hands out in front into a down dog. And I still work on the upper body here, so lower hips into a plank and then slowly lower all the way down onto the mat. So hands below the shoulders, squeeze elbows into the body and pull shoulders away from the ears. As you do this, tuck your toes, lock your legs so get your knees to not touch, push away from the floor into Chaturanga, and then slowly lower back down, pushing up. If you struggle to lift, then just push as much as possible, lower down. Still spreading the fingers, pushing Chaturanga, and lower down. Pushing up for Chaturanga, and lower down. And with the last one, push all the way up into a plank. Taking hips up, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, lower your hips back into plank. Step your feet mat width apart. Place the left hand to the center of the mat. Get your right hand behind your back. Feel the core working now that you've only got one hand on the mat. Bring the right hand down. Position right hand to the center. Getting left hand behind your back. Keep shoulders aligned as much as possible. Bring the left hand down. Taking your hips up and positioning the feet into a normal down dog stance. And I'll bring hips down into plank. You dip into shoulders and push out of shoulders. Dipping into shoulders, pushing out, dip, push, dip, push, 2 more, dip, pushing chest away, 1 more, dipping, and push. taking your hips up. Now from this downward facing dog, bring your knees down, tuck toes, and sit back onto the heels. Stretching into the shoulders, get the right arm up, hand between shoulder blades. Find your left hand and pull the right elbow up to ceiling. Releasing the bind, changing arms. So you want to get the left arm up, find the fingers, and pull the left elbow up. If this is difficult, you can always make use of a yoga strap or a belt, maybe even just a towel. You can then release, bringing your hands back onto the mat. So in this all fours position, make sure that you push out of your shoulders as much as possible. Chest as far away from the mat as you can. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor. Tuck your chin. Get as much space between shoulder blades as possible, like a cat stretch. And then start to float your knees off the mat. Lifting your hips and adjusting or stretching into the front parts of the ankles in this modified down dog shape. And then roll over your toes into a downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. And as you get your foot between hands, shift a bit of weight forwards. So knee in line with the toes. Bring your arms out to the sides. Breathe. Keep the upper body in line with the back leg. Exhale, bring your hands down. Angle your back foot, pistol grip the right big toe. As you start to take it into a side plank, just take the leg out to the side. So you're holding onto the big toe and you're breathing. Let go of the big toe, keep the leg up, take your arm up, and then take the leg back, bring it down into plank. Low down chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale to down dog or chaturanga. Into down dog. Inhale, raising left leg. Exhale, left foot between hands. Shift weight forwards. So you get onto tippy toes. Arms out to the sides. Arms straight. Exhale, bring your hands down. As you shift weight back, place weight onto the outer edge of the right foot, weight onto the right hand, pistol grip the left big toe, take it into a side plank. Keep the hips up. Let go of the big toe, keep leg up, arm up. Take your leg back, and then into plank vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog or chaturanga. Into down dog. Place your forearms down onto the mat. Inhale, chin between the hands. Exhale, push back. Inhale, chin forwards. Keep moving. Exhale, back. Inhale. Exhale. In breath. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, push. Bring your knees down and sit back into a comfortable child's pose. Use your inhale to come back up into a seated position. As you get to a seated position, you can turn so that you can keep the heels on the mat, or just to keep most of the body on the yoga mat. Get the legs nice and wide, but you should be able to touch the outer edges of the feet if you had to reach towards the feet. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Flare with the elbows, so pull back. The more you pull back with the elbows, the more the hands will push into the back of the head. Arch in your back. Take a nice full deep inhale, and exhale, come down. So turn it into a bit of a forward bend. But you want to stay quite active in the stretch, actively pushing heels down, bringing chest down. Inhale, lifting up, bit of a dynamic approach. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Hold it there. And release your hands or your arms onto the floor. If you want to take the arms out in front, relaxing forehead down, go with that option. Just keep the feet active, don't let the feet turn inwards. And hold this straddle forward bend. Use the inhalation to make your way back up. As you come back up to seated, bend your knees, get soles of the feet together. Leave a bit of space between heels and the groin. Interlace fingers around the feet. Just move the knees up and down. Very gentle. We're getting close to our breathing exercise, our pranayama. Now you can stop moving the legs, pull whichever heel in close to the body. Interlace fingers around the opposite foot, just lifting the leg up to ceiling. You can bend into the knee, bring your leg down, switch so that we can stretch into the opposite hamstring muscles, interlacing fingers around the feet, or at least the foot in this case, and hold. Keep length in your spine. You can bend into the knee, bring it down. Get into a comfortable seated position, like the way we started the practice. You want to give it your all with the pranayama. We get a lot of benefits from doing these breathing exercises. Sitali pranayama is a cooling exercise. It's a nice way to get into the parasympathetic nervous system. So this cooling type of approach is a nice way to get into a deeper corpse pose, into a more relaxed state. So after all the nice ujjayi breathing we've been doing on the mat, we change it up a bit. You curl the tongue, you round the tongue. It's a full inhale, so technically it's a mouth breath that we take. Full inhalation. Feel that you fill up the lungs. Once you've got the full inhalation, you'll bring your chin closer to your chest. This is your throat lock, your Jalandhara lock. At the same time, you want to squeeze the Mula Bandha. So we're going to squeeze the Mula Bandha, and then we do stomach pumps. So it's a 5-second, more or less, say 5 squeezing or stomach pumps on the retention of the breath. After the stomach pumps, you exhale ujjayi breath. So through your nose, mouth closed, you bring your head back to center, and we repeat the cycle. If you find that you're running out of breath, then I would suggest that you not just round the tongue, but bite onto the tongue a little bit, just to create a bit more of a passage for airflow. Keep that in mind. Sit up tall. You can close your eyes, and I will do the first cycle with you, and then you can simply continue at your own pace. Tongue out, full inhalation. Tuck your chin, Mula Bandha, stomach pumps. Exhale, empty. Head back to center. And then once you lift the chin back up, just allow your breath to be natural. You have the option of staying in this upright seated position, proceeding with your meditation, or you can join me for corpse pose and staying in corpse pose for as long as you like.